I loved that. That was amazing.
Would you turn up?
Would I turn up? Definitely. Yeah. So, hi everyone. We have created a brand called Juice Bread, and we are focusing in on a demographic of women just like me. They're between the ages of 30 and 50, they're time poor, they've some disposable income, but they've definitely got dependents, which may be kids, but probably a husband. So what we have decided to do in terms of KPIs is that we are going to target our existing audience to buy from us, at least 75% of our existing audience. We're going to drive 10,000 new customers to our website, and that means that we estimate that our top funnel will be about 100,000 people. The campaign will be...
Yes, so the campaign. So because our whole idea was how do we drive 100,000 more people, at least to know about us, and then to do that, we then thought, right, where do these people, like 30 to 50-year-old females, if they're not on Facebook, or if they are, but we can't use Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, then the key channels are, they're probably on Pinterest. If Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are not around, which we saw, which was mentioned earlier, they probably also have now moved the conversation onto Twitter a lot. But overwhelmingly, these people also use email and phone numbers. So we thought, well, Pinterest, Twitter, email, phone numbers, those are going to be our main methods of communication with them. So what we're going to do from the campaign perspective is we're going to use Pinterest and Twitter as our way to send them to our site. But rather than then directly converting, we'll start this campaign 3 weeks before. And rather than directly send them to convert, we're going to send them to a quiz. And in this quiz, it's going to be a myth-busting quiz.
Which will have 5 questions. Now, we haven't done all of the questions, but we wondered if you like these ones. Men are 4 times more likely to want socks than ties at Christmas. True or false?
Yes, love it.
True?
True.
Cool. And our last question after the other 3 would be 70% of the world still believes in Santa. True or false?
True.
It has to be true. It has to be true. So with the quiz, what would then happen is they would then have the option to win a £500 hamper, of which Juice Bread facial oil would be the centrepiece of that, alongside probably 10 to 12 other B Corp certified products, because obviously we're B Corp certified. But they would share this with friends to have the opportunity to win the hamper. So the competition would then drive that sharing and possibly sharing their answers to the questions of whether they believe in Santa or not, or whether they're going to buy their partner socks or ties.
Cool.
And the reason behind this, so the reason behind this whole approach, which came up with around like myth busting, was because, well, we saw, so we did a whole talk about it, but also because this is how so many of these big publications like BuzzFeed and all those guys grew very quickly. They created all these quizzes like, what kind of cheeseburger are you? Or what kind of Harry Potter fan are you? And the reason why that worked so well was it captured people's email addresses, but also like people wanted to test how smart they were or just to share with their friends. And because we don't have Facebook, Instagram, etc., and we know this demographic are really around like email and phone numbers, the way in which you share with friends is that once you take the quiz, you would then be prompted to then like send this on to 3 other friends, i.e. like enter in their email so that you can also see their answers as well. And we then decided to go with this big hamper because let's say our product is £30. £30 is the price of our product now. And we thought, well, if we're targeting this person of like 30 to 50, they've had a really tough year, especially if it's next year. They had a year even before, which was even tough because of COVID. We're actually going to almost make this like the perfect Christmas package for you. So as well as skincare, we'll have some hair care,
Chocolate.
we'll have some chocolate. It will really be the like pampering pack for you. So we take our brand and elevate it to make it seem as if like this is really like the best thing that you could do. In the process, us gathering a shit ton of emails, a ton of emails, and phone numbers, which is going to be the way that we'll actually be able to engage with them directly, because we don't need to now rely on Facebook and all these other channels. We can actually now own the audience. Then once we've owned the audience,
owned the audience, we would at some point with our limited budget create a loyalty app. Yeah, but at the moment we don't have that, but we have email addresses. So what we would then do is send out a mail shot that would be targeted depending on, you know, how loyal the customer is or whether the customer is a first-time customer. And when they open the email, there would be a bonus that would generally be a free product, a discount, depending on what the categories is for each customer. And every time, whether that's every 2 days or 3 days, whatever the frequency needs to be, they would get an opportunity to buy something from the website with this particular reward. But it would be time-bound. So if it's 50% to begin with, for example, they need to buy it within 24 or 48 hours to obviously move the sale through quickly.
yeah. And also what we're doing with that is we are bringing the buzz and excitement of Christmas. We are, you know, that whole buzz where you don't know what you're going to get and you don't know what to expect. But basically like bringing that every single 48 hours. So that you just get hype, you get buzz, you get energy, you're like, oh, what am I going to get today? What am I going to get today? And that then builds up and builds up, whilst constantly in the mind of the consumer, they're constantly hearing about us, they're constantly seeing us as this like really good brand who's always giving them really good discounts around Christmas. And then when we then, so that's on the 25th. We'll basically finish by the 15th. And then on the 14th, what we're going to do is we're then going to have completely on the whole site, we're going to have an 80% off discount. I just decided that.
He did. So, and on the email, yeah, what you've got is you've got a dynamic meditation tracker that shakes like this. Yeah, it goes.
And now she just decided that. So we're just making up on the spot. But you get the whole point of us like building stuff, then like building up the hype, using the quiz to get the emails and the phone numbers. Once we've got them in, being able to like really almost create this gamification behavior, all using email and phone numbers, because we understand that our audience perhaps might not be inherently social, but they're definitely using, text and email, and that's the way that we'll create hype, create all that stuff, and then we'll blast it off and we'll sell every single product on our website.
Wow. Bravo.